Television, beaming live from Douala, Cameroon's economic capital, begin today's edition of Prime News in the West region, where Governor Fon Quinter was on the field yesterday to sensitize the population during a hygiene and sanitation campaign. This is in prelude to the African Cup of Nations, scheduled for January 2022, of which Bafoussam is one of the host cities. Joingan completes the story.
Regional Governor Fon Quinter personally led the sensitization campaign to reinforce hygiene and sanitation in the city of Bafoussam on the 21st of December 2021 ahead of the African Cup of Nations.
We've gone out this morning to see the state of affairs in the domain of hygiene and sanitation, and I'd like to let you know that we are very satisfied. The groundwork has been carried out by the administrative authorities, the prefect, sous-prefect, the mayor of the town and the municipal authorities, as well as Nsah. Everybody is on deck, and we realized that the population have finally understood that hygiene and sanitation is a business of everybody.
The campaign team, which equally comprised of other local administrative authorities in the likes of the senior divisional officer for the MIFI and the city mayor, issued on-site warnings to institutions that have not been rehabilitated. According to the local administrative authorities, the hygiene and sanitation exercise will henceforth be permanent in the West region, of course, with the support of the population. At the end of the hygiene and sanitation sensitization campaign, Governor Fon Quinter expressed satisfaction regarding the outcome of the exercise and the collaboration of the inhabitants of the West region.
The traffic in Bafoussam today, the traffic flow is very good. Equally, people have left the sidewalks, and so people are carrying out their activities, and I think we are ready for the AFCON competition, and we're very delighted with the outcome.
The governor calls on the Bafoussam city dwellers to put all hands on deck in the maintenance of good sanitary conditions and make Bafoussam pleasant for everyone.
Several persons have lost their lives and others seriously injured following an accident in Lower yesterday, December 21. The accident, which has been attributed to reckless driving and overspeeding, involved a transport bus and a RAF car. Nora Kakebi with details.
Local population of Lowe, Manjo subdivision in the Mongo division yesterday, December 21, woke up on a sad note as they witnessed a fatal accident which claimed several lives. A 19-seater Hiace bus and a private car got into a head-on collision, resulting in the death of many persons. The transport car left Kongsamba and was heading to Lum when suddenly, private car, a RAV4, drove from the left side and hit the transport bus. This victim says he was on his way to Tombel to finalize his traditional marriage, but he unfortunately lost his caregiver, Pa Willie, who is a father figure to him.
Well, from Yaoundé, we will drop in Kongsamba. From there, we'll take a car to come to Lum so that we can go to Tombel. So in between Lum, we had an accident. I was sitting with people. Pa Willie, that is my father in Yaoundé, died. There was a girl beside Pa Willie too. I don't know, maybe they have taken her in the hospital. I'm going to Ngusi. So I'm feeling my chest paining me, my chest, my leg. It's only there that I'm feeling pains for now.
Reports gathered say 9 persons died in the transport bus, 3 lives were claimed in the RAV4, while many others sustained severe injuries and were being rushed to the hospital. While transporting the injured victims to the hospital, 2 others gave up. According to the survivors of this road accident, the sad incident has been blamed and attributed to reckless driving by the driver of the private car. Investigations are already ongoing as security officials immediately answered present at the site of the accident. Cameroonians are calling on drivers to be cautious as they transport many precious lives, especially during this festive season when families want to reconnect with loved ones.
7 persons accused of breaking into homes and making away with property in Kongsamba are currently under custody at the research unit of the National Gendarmerie in Kongsamba Mungo Division of the Lithora region. The 7 suspects were presented to the public alongside stolen items, and those who purchased some of these stolen items get details in the following report. Charged by elements of the National Gendarmerie in Kongsamba, Mungo Division of the Lithora region. These time 7 alleged bandits accused of burgling homes of residents and making away with property and money are currently gnashing their teeth behind bars at the research unit of the National Gendarmerie in Kongsamba. For 3 days, the elements of the research unit in Kongsamba launched a search operation leading to the arrest of the 7 suspects.
En réalité, tout est parti d'une plainte où une dame se plaignait avoir perdu.
It all started when a lady complained about missing building materials she bought. With the information and in collaboration with the research unit commander, we launched an operation leading to the arrest of these bandits. The suspects, aged between 21 to 34 years, were presented to the population alongside items they have stolen from the residents and those who purchased the stolen items.
Tu as acheté l'écran chez qui? Voilà. Toi, tu as acheté l'écran. Toi, tu as acheté chez qui? Toi, tu as acheté chez qui? Voilà. Qui? Voilà. Toi, tu as lui, c'est qui? C'est le même type, non?
The arrest of these 7 bandits come as a relief, as denizens are confident end-of-year festivities will be hitch-free and banditry will be a thing of the past.
Très bien. Tout ce qu'on a arrêté là, ça me plaît beaucoup. Ça me plaît beaucoup, ça me plaît beaucoup. Parce que
while investigations have been opened to retrieve all stolen items, which will be handed to the owners after identification, the population have been called to collaborate with law enforcement officials in the town of Kongsamba. In the Northwest region, 120 underprivileged persons selected from some 5 neighborhoods in Kwenbamenda 3 municipality have benefited from food items donated by Nsah Pekin. Created 6 months ago, the association Nsah Pekin intends carrying out other developmental projects in all 5 quarters selected. Charles Kewa reports from the Northwest region.
Sons and daughters of the 5 quarters that make up Nsah in the Bamenda 3 subdivision of the Northwest, Nsah 1A, Nsah 1B, Nsah 2, 3, and Nsah 4, under their umbrella association known as Nsah Pekin, have put up smile on the faces of some 120 less privileged persons in the Nsah neighborhood in a project dubbed Giving Back 2021. The 120 persons, amongst them widows and orphans, receive meat, rice, maggi, soap, and spaghetti to be used in the celebration of end-of-year festivities. The pastor of the Emmanuel Baptist Church, Nsah, used the ceremony to pray to all members of the association and quarter members who contributed their dime for the purchase of the items, presenting the vision and what Nsah Pekin is all about and how the source of their items they distributed.
To express my happiness, my wish and my joy for this wonderful initiative being carried out by Nsah Pekin. We try to come up with some items like bags of rice, 25 bags of rice and above. There was spaghetti, there was meat, there was maggi, there was washing soap, and we are still thinking of adding some other items if we have the funds as of now, because some pledges are still coming in. Some people who pledged are still trying to pay in their pledges. Thank you.
Selection of the beneficiaries was rigorous, done to the satisfaction of all, as the less privileged persons all went home with smile on their faces, singing praises to their donor, Nsah Pekin.
For what they have done to us, their mothers. We know they suffer a lot over there as they are staying in their beds. If they can try and send us just this maggi to cook our food for the children and for their brothers and sisters that they have left behind, I think it's a great thing for them. And those at home, we thank you people for organizing these things so that they should move well, and we take it and we go and cook the food so that the children at home should eat.
Sisia Pikin, created just some 6 months ago, is the first major achievement of the association, and in the months ahead intend to carry out projects like the construction of quarter roads, bridges and electricity.
The Bamenda City Council will run on a budget of 4.3 billion francs CFA during the 2022 financial year. This was disclosed by City Mayor Paul Achumbong during the budgetary session. Charles Kiba once again.
The Bamenda City Council will in the year 2022 operate with a budget of over 4.3 billion FCFA. This was disclosed during the Bamenda City Council budgetary session, December 21st, 2021, to adopt the 2022 budget of the Bamenda City Council that took place at the Pakuvita Hall. The Bamenda City Council budget, which stands at 4.3 billion FCFA, witnessing a decrease of 389 million, experiencing a significant drop of 8.4%.
In result, we can assure you that the government of Cameroon has approved of the 30-meter width of the road. We can equally assure the population that the director of the World Bank has no objection anymore, and the only reconciliatory part which we have is in the accounting of funds for an initially provided 16-meter road to now a 30-meter wide road. So those things are virtually done, and we can be comforted that the work will start.
The over 4.3 billion adopted by the councillors of the Bamenda City Council with plans towards development, the city will also fight waste, acquire smart detectors, combat fire in markets after several fire incidents are reported across the city of Bamenda. Mayor Paul Achumbong Temen made a declaration to the press after the budgetary session on plans for the resumption of works on the Bamenda City pothole roads, affirmed the World Bank has approved the 30 meters wide of the Bamenda City roads from the initial 16 meters wide the City Council proposed.
The budget has experienced a significant drop in the value of 8.4%. To me, I think we got to do things that are realistic. It is not comfortable for us to have a budget of 100% and we are unable to realize it. So we want to see what we can do. And that is why we've made a budget for 8.4% drop, so as to make sure that this time next year we will show proof of what has been done.
With a reconciliatory plan for the city where all the citizens of the city will reconcile with each other, the Bamenda City Mayor Paul Achumbong called it a turning point. The inhabitants of Bamenda await to see project earmarked by the City Council for 2022 see the light of the day.
In a bid to reduce maternal and neonatal mortality, a caravan to this effect has been organized in Gaunda, a locality in Gaundari, Adamawa region of the country. The motorized caravan was organized under the supervision of the divisional officer, Umaro Zoude. Details with Catherine Kongwe.
The Health Check Project for the Adamawa region has organized a motorized training and caravan in Gaunda, a locality in Gaundari, to inform and raise awareness of the benefits of the project. The Health Check has been contributing for several years to reduce maternal and neonatal mortality in Cameroon. In the region of Adamawa, the districts of Jonghong and Gaunda have been enlisted in this project. The population of Gaunda is lucky to be eligible for this project to reduce maternal and neonatal mortality in Cameroon due to the upsurge in infant mortality rate in the area. Following the training of various actors and stakeholders in the project chain have marked its official launch in Gaunda, a motorized caravan was organized through the locality under the supervision of the divisional officer. According to the project marketing and communication manager, is to sensitize pregnant women who will now have to use the health check to care for themselves and their unborn babies.
All the pregnant women can have a resuscitation reference from the community to the health center, and maybe to the health center to the district hospital or reference hospital, so that she will have the best attention due to what she needs.
One could see this survey in all the different streets of the city. Some pregnant women they met in Gaunda could testify. Note should be taken that since the advent of the health check project in May 2014, cases of death during delivery has decreased in the northern part of Cameroon.
The representative of the Minister of Higher Education, Professor Wilfred Gabsa, has laid the foundation stone for Campus C of the Higher Institute of Business Management and Technology, HIMAT, Boya. This was during a twin ceremony that held in Boya, as Clarice Ekowa tells us.
Led by the representative of the Minister of Higher Education, Professor Wilfred Gabsa, and the president of HIMAT, Jude Chilaka, this delegation visited the construction site where the foundation stone of HIMAT Boya Campus C was laid. Speaking during this second phase of the ceremony dedicated for the graduation of the 11th and 7th batch of HND and BTech students respectively, the president of HIMAT disclosed the reason for the creation of Campus C.
We actually envisaged the Campus C because, as a matter of fact, the institution is working tirelessly towards the introduction of many other programs and, of course, many other faculties. The student population has actually increased significantly. As a matter of fact, the present campus cannot actually accommodate.
On his part, the representative of the minister congratulated HIMAT for their professionalism exhibited through training programs.
And we appreciate very strongly the closeness between the training program that students receive here and the private sector. Which today is the main objective of the education system, to ensure train them an opening somewhere.
In his academic discourse captioned, "The Power of Positive Thinking," the guest speaker, just like the rector of HIMAT, enjoined graduates to transform skills acquired into reality.
Transforming the energy they have received in school, successes in business, in management, and in the different sectors, that they will not only be seeking jobs, but creating jobs for themselves and future Cameroon.
Education is not merely acquiring knowledge and skills. It also demands having high integrity and morality.
To one of the graduates,
tell them to always put God first in all they do, and then also they should always believe in themselves because nothing is impossible.
At the end of the ceremony, prizes were awarded to meritorious students from the schools of Business and Management Sciences, Education, Transport and Logistic Management, and the School of Engineering and Technology.
Cameroon is officially declared ready to host the upcoming African Cup of Nations slated for January 2022. This is the main outcome of the meeting between President Paul Biya and the President of the Confederation of African Football, NOLINGA. They complete the story.
To visiting key areas enabling the hosting of the upcoming African Cup of Nations, the President of the Confederation of African Football, Patrice Motsepe, now reassures Africans and the world at large that Cameroon is apt and ready to host the biggest football tournament in the continent, following a meeting with President Paul Biya of Cameroon.
I'm coming to watch on the 9th, Cameroon and Burkina Faso. And I'll also be around to wait and see when the trophy is handed over. Eto said to me he's got some idea who's going to win. And the president of Senegal said to me he's got some idea of who's going to win.
On his part, the President of the Republic of Cameroon has confirmed the country would continue preparations to meet up with the set date as planned. However, the CAF President added that the main challenge will be the measures to fight the Omicron variant of COVID-19, as he reiterates the need for all to be responsible.
So we have said nobody will be allowed into the stadium without a PCR test, because we have to protect those spectators will be there. And of course, there's a concern that there'll be lots of fake tests going around. We are dealing with those issues, because I will be getting a report after the AFCON.
Nonetheless, the president of CAF, Patrice Motsepe, is still calling on Cameroonians and Africans to be confident in one another.
We must all work together, and we must all make sure that we engage and advance the interests of our people. Today it's about football because we love football and we are passionate about football. And we want to work with the rest of the world. We want to work with Europe, China, America, and the rest of the world. But we do recognize that we've got an absolutely fundamental obligation to develop and grow our continent. And in the context of football, as I've said, to make African football amongst the best in the world. We have to have confidence and believe in ourselves as Africans. And we have to have confidence and believe in ourselves that we can host a very successful AFCON 2021 in Cameroon that will make the people of Cameroon proud.
By the end of the day, the team has left Cameroon satisfactory, hoping to return come January 7th, 2022, 2 days to the biggest event in the African continent.
The sad one, legendary Cameroonian Bikotsi icon Kodositoni has passed at the age of 62 following an illness. He died on Tuesday, December 21 at the Yaoundé Reference Hospital, as Eileen Summer tells us.
The death of Kodositoni Francois, known by many as Kodositoni, sent shock waves across the national territory on Tuesday, December 21, 2021, when it was announced. The legend gave up the ghost following a protracted illness at the Yaoundé Reference Hospital at the age of 62. Kodositoni was born on the 25th of August 1959 at New Belle, Douala, as the first child to a family of 7 children. He fell in love with music at a very tender age and would skip school to indulge in music alongside his peers, who usually go to watch the black stylists play, and was carried away by performances of other Makossa artists like Dina Bell, Coty Francois, Emile Kange, Guy Lobet, Johnny Black, Ben Deka, among others. The multi-talented artist started with a homemade guitar and later learned how to play other instruments like balafon, mvet, and bass. The great guitarist Kodositoni also invested in working on his powerful voice and was seduced by Makossa while growing up in Douala, and was supervised by Edgard Lawton as he took his first steps in music with the genre Makossa. In 1977, his father, a cocoa farmer and football referee, sent him to cash a check, but Kodositoni makes away with the money and decides to go on a musical adventure in Nigeria, where he explored high life, Afrobeat, juju music, and others. He released his first album in 1979 called Anastasia. In the early 1980s, he returned to Cameroon and founded his first group, Les Africains d'Angola. In 1986, he released an album titled 90 Degrees of Bikotsi, and in 1988 was crowned Artist of the Year, while his album was crowned Gold Disc of the Year in 1988 and 1990. Years later, his spiritual father, Mungo Fire, treated the legend of a mystical illness called Musong, which almost claimed his life. Kodositoni later left Cameroon and performed in a reggae group in Germany before moving to France. His hit songs included Mba Voe, Ndolo Ojo Ibe and Nguan Ozum. He will be greatly remembered for his unique style of always promoting the Cameroonian culture in all his songs. He leaves behind his family and Cameroonians to mourn him.
And in the following report, Bokengo Worthy highlights the importance of food safety measures, especially during this festive period. Her report.
With a busy schedule and probably long list of things to do this period, trying to meet up with last-minute shopping for food, beverages, clothes, wine, and many more, food safety measures should be on the bucket and to-do list for each in all, especially this festive season, most importantly for the children.
Safe, healthy, and nutritious food is everyone's right. Our latest data show that 600 million people around the world still get sick every year from eating contaminated food. Children under 5 are the hardest hit. When food is not safe, children don't get enough nutrients that can harm growth and development.
With seasonal changes and COVID-19 variants spreading fast globally, proper hand hygiene and environmental sanitation this festive season should be a must for every family.
Safe food is needed today for a healthy tomorrow. The good news is that most foodborne disease is preventable. On these days, everyone should know that all of us have a role in keeping food safe. Whether we produce, process, sell, prepare or share food with friends or family, you can take concrete actions to keep food safe.
It should be borne in mind that food safety measures should be practiced at all times and very diligently.
I'm sharing with you 5 calls to action to get involved and do your part. Safe food contributes to a healthy life, a healthy planet, and a healthy future.
Worthy of note is the fact that food is the most urgent basic human need of every person after air and water. To this regard, it is important for everyone to ensure and protect the health of their family and loved one from foodborne diseases, especially during this festive season, by making food safety a priority always and not an option.
We've come to the end of today's edition of Prime News on My Media, Prime Television. My name is Fon Quinter. Coming up at 7 p.m. is Prime Hour with Kum Leonard and his team. We meet again tomorrow at exactly 6:30 p.m. for another edition of Prime News. Have a great evening in the company of more programs on the African Eye. Stay with us. Good night.
Welcome to a new world of TV broadcasting.